I'll just move to the rest of my list quite quickly. Knights of the Old Republic. I love those first two games. I also played the Old Republic online for a reasonable amount of time, but it got too samey. Put it this way. But otherwise, great story, and similarly, Mass Effect. Played the first two games. I haven't played the third one because of Origin, and
You're one of those people who boycott Origin.
I'm afraid I am until they fix the damn thing. Until I don't know if they actually stopped banning people randomly. Have they stopped doing that?
Did.
Okay, that's like that. I didn't want to like sign up to something and then paid for the game and then randomly not being able to play it
They're
anymore.
giving out free games.
Fair enough. Like one of these days, I'll probably look up on it. But yeah, so pretty much what Hunter described. The similar reasons why I like Mass Effect. I just love the story, love the characters. The character interactions are amazing in that game. And I hate to say this, but Fallout could learn something from Mass Effect in terms of characters. New Vegas got close with their companions, but they were missing so much. Like first start. Why is it that in New Vegas, none of the companions seems to acknowledge each other's existence? I don't know if you noticed that. You can recruit all of them inside the Lucky 38, 38, 36, 38. Sorry,
It's
you
Lucky
can recruit.
38.
You can recruit all of them in the Lucky 38. They do not ever interact with each other. That's such a. I don't know why they didn't do that. Like I was really hoping to hear some kind of argument between Boone and Veronica, because here you have an former NCR guy, and a member of the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, anyone who knows anything about Fallout New Vegas would know that those two sides had a war. That's a great opportunity for some interesting interaction, and they didn't do any of it. So just like, But yeah, Mass Effect did that way better. That's one of the reasons I really like Mass Effect. And last but not least, BioShock. Absolutely loved. Still haven't completed BioShock 1. I will go back to that eventually. But BioShock Infinite blew me away. The two DLCs also blew me away. And I do own the first two BioShock. So one of these days I will go through that. And just to throw this in there, Smash Brothers. Because I have friends who really like playing that game. And we have a laugh playing that every now and then. Every now and again. Anyways, oh man, we spent a long time on that question. Do you want to do one of yours?
Yeah, sure. Did you expect to get this far?
I'm guessing are they talking in terms of subscribers or
I'm
episodes?
guessing in terms of everything.
Okay. Do you want to? You can start.
The short answer is no. No, I did not expect to get this far. I expected, when I started Matt's Mind, I expected that to, get a few hundred views and no further interest, but then Matt's Mind ended up becoming more popular, and I had to, shift priorities over to that because people kept asking for more Matt's Mind. I did not expect it to get as big as it did. I was recording this, it was a stupidly choppy frame rate, and people still liked it. And this was back when I had, maybe 25 subscribers. I don't know, that shot up like a frickin' rocket. But I moved to my new house, I finally reached 100, and I announced, Matt's Mind Season 3. Like, I knew from the get-go that I'd be doing Season 2, with the Broken Steel DLC, but I hadn't, but I was on the fence about doing Season 3 with New Vegas, and so when I got to 100, I said, yeah, I'm gonna do New Vegas, and then, a few years later, I think 2012 or 13, I'm pretty sure it was, 2012, I ended up getting 1,000 subscribers. So, yeah, that was a thing. So, that's when I uploaded, my 1,000 subscribers special, which was, Salad Days with Matt and Mike, where the two characters are literally doing a commentary over the first, like, 7 episodes of their own series, and I will do another one of those when I hit, something. I don't know if it's gonna be 5,000, because I kept, Actually, no. I am quite a bit away from 5,000. I need a little over 1,000 more. So, yeah, I will be doing another one of those, because that was fun. And Mike had over 100 lines in that. And recording Mike is fine.
Put that software into hard work.
But, no, I did not expect to get this far, but the support from all the fans and everyone has just been amazing, and you guys really make the series possible.
Right. Well, I mean, in my case, okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna be really cynical here and say that yes, I did expect, as far as subscribers go, to eventually hit 1,000, because the thing is, like, you could literally sort of leave it there and do nothing, and over time views will accumulate. But I will say right now, I did not expect I would get to this point this quickly, like in the time span that I did. I mean, there was a time when I basically I noticed I was getting like maybe 100 subscribers per season that we're making, and I was already really impressed by that. And then of course, I mean, Hunter wouldn't know about this, but I made that Dark Knight Achievement Hunter crossover video, and holy crap, that's probably as close to going viral as I can possibly get, and it's just like. At that point, I had 700 subscribers, and I think that thing alone must have been enough to get me to 1,000.
Yeah,
like,
we all have those videos that end up going borderline viral. Like, my first one was the Burn Your House Down Sparta remix for Portal 2, and now it's the food fight review.
I mean, I guess I kind of understand how Roscoff feels in a way. Like, you know, I'm grateful for the existence of things like that, you know, that propels our popularity. But at the same time, I'm also slightly resentful that it's more popular than something I worked a lot harder on. So, like, you know, Roscoff, like, have that thing about civil protection that he doesn't, he kind of hates the fact that Freeman's Mind is now more popular than something that he really wants to work on. I have that feeling about the Achievement Hunter videos. I mean, I still love getting comments about that, by the way, so don't stop doing that. But yeah, as far as like Courier's Mind and how far it's come, I was genuinely worried that the series might die during my 2 sort of hiatus periods, because like I made several update videos about this, but obviously at the time I was getting close to my exams, and I didn't really want to have this thing in the back of my head while I'm revising and so on. I will say I'm very humbled by the fact that I regained all these sort of long-time fans so quickly right after, you know, as soon as I released the trailer out there, suddenly all these people come back, and not only has it not lost popularity, it seems to have gained some while I was away. So thank you all so much for that. I'm really amazed and grateful for all of it. So yeah, I'll do a question now.
You guys are awesome.
Yes, keep clicking subscribe, and spread the word. That's how it works. Yeah, so this one applies to both of us. How much of New Vegas, you know, / Fallout 3 would you be covering? I guess I'll start with this one. This one I get asked a lot, and the answer is I will do as much as I possibly can, which means all the main quests, pretty much all of the side quests, and any sort of interesting locations I can get in between them. Now, I will say that I won't be like deliberately steering him to like a really remote place just to look at one scenery. Like I think that would be going too far off of the main path. So, for instance, in New Vegas, there's that nuclear test site, I think right in the south, with a whole bunch of feral ghouls there, and it's an interesting location, but as of right now, I cannot imagine any logical reason for the Courier to actually go there. So more likely than not, areas like that I won't be visiting. I also won't be hunting down like all the unique weapons and all the skill books, because again, similar thing. My basic philosophy is that if the Courier didn't know there was something interesting in that direction, why would he head there? Like, he does have something more urgent right now, which is tracking down and killing Benny. So there's no Like,
He's
other
getting
than
close to that.
I'm getting very close now. Yes, next season he's heading to the strip, but yeah. So that's basically my coverage, as it were. But if I do go into like a hub area, say like Freeside, for instance, I will try my best to get him to see as much of the interesting bits of the place as he possibly can. Sometimes I might have to come up with a bit of a roundabout reason for why. So, for instance, in Freeside, technically there was nothing stopping him from going straight into the strip. But I figured, I want to see Freeside. I want to get all the quests done. So I then came up with this idea that it's not just 2,000 caps to get in, but it's 2,000 caps per person. So he's got 2,000 caps, but his companions don't. So that's excuse enough for me to, go and explore the area and try to earn money that way.
You could just get them a passport.
I could, but then I came up with the other excuse, which is, how do you know that the passport works until you try it? In which case, if it doesn't work, you get shot at. So, in the
Who do you have right now, anyway? Which companion?
Right now, I have, as of the end of season 6, I have Eddie, Rex, Boone, Veronica, and Cass.
Ah.
And I've met Arcade, but I don't have the reputation and the speech skill necessary to actually recruit him yet, which is fair enough because, like, later on I'm gonna come back to Mormon Ford anyway for one of the quests. So there's always a chance to pick him up there. And I also try not to get too many companions in one season because I want to dedicate a season to each of them. But anyways, and also just get this out of the way. Yes, I will be doing all the DLCs. This is actually a separate question, but I might as well get this out of the way. I will do all the DLCs. I'll do all the companion quests. The DLCs are going to be done in a row because the stories actually work really well if you do them in a row. And yeah, just as much as I can possibly get through. That's going to be it. And I mean, assuming for you, similar thing, we eventually get to New Vegas?
Yeah.
Perhaps? I don't know.
Yeah, in terms of what we're doing, for Fallout 3, we're covering as much as we can, because there's a lot of potential with Fallout 3. Obviously, we've done all the DLCs already. And right now I have what I'm calling a writing excuse as to why he's running around DC and not doing the main Broken Steel quest line. It's because Mike is busy decoding Enclave data that will allow them to find the Enclave base. And that's going to take him like 5 weeks, I think I said it was. Yeah, it was 5 weeks, so now he's just going around doing stuff. Right now we're in the middle of the Vault arc, where he's going through various different vaults. But for all the stuff that we don't get to in the main series, we have our spin-off series that we're planning called Matt's Mind Adventures, which takes place after Season 2, in between Season 2 and 3. Where we're doing other things in Fallout 3. And for New Vegas, we're planning to do all the DLCs, except for, what was it called?
Dead Money?
No, definitely gotta do Dead Money.
Which one are you Lonesome Road?
Hold on, I'm loading up the DLC.
Surely not Lonesome Road.
Honest Hearts.
Oh. What
Because
is it? For any
Honest
reason?
Hearts just really didn't, frickin', I don't know, it just didn't click well with me. I just didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't anything special or anything. But, DLCs...
But hey, Joshua Graham, that's the one good thing about it.
DLCs will definitely be doing Lonesome Road. That one's coming in, right at the very end for, right before Hoover Dam. Dead Money, and you can't play Fallout 3 without playing Old World Blues. The world needs Old World Blues. That one was actually down for DLC of the year.
I actually got a lot of people saying, "Oh, you must be really looking forward to Overworld Blues because it's like so much humor. Actually, can I just say I'm actually intimidated by the idea of doing Overworld Blues, precisely because it's so funny. Because put it this way, it's very hard to do a parody of something that's already very funny. Like trying to add my humor on top of the existing humor is gonna be hard.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that, Old World Blues is gonna be hard. Like, I already have the intro planned, like the first episode where he wakes up on the balcony after he touches the satellite. He's just like, okay, I swear that is the last time I ever touch any piece of pre-war crap in my life.
Well, unfortunately, you do touch a lot of pre-war crap once.
Yeah. And then he looks around. He's like surrounded by pre-war crap. and Mike's like, "Yeah, that's gonna be hard."
Yeah.
But
well, Mike is technically a piece of pre-war crap.
Mike, yeah.
So he might have some problems there.
It's like, Mike, get off my arm. Yeah, we're gonna try to do as much as we can. And I can't confirm Matt's Mind Adventures 2, which would take place in New Vegas, because the story just sort of ends.
Do you know what annoys me? Apparently, they did plan to have it to continue after the main quest. They even have lines recorded by, I think, the Securitrons to deliberately like say things differently depending on who won. So they planned it, but for whatever reason they decided not to go with it.
You know what I thought they were gonna do? I thought they were gonna have this huge, massive DLC that was gonna be like a
light broken steel,
like a broken steel sort of thing, a huge, massive DLC where they mapped out the NCR area and the Legion area, and depending on which path you went with, you would invade one or the other.
I think that's probably enough content for a whole other game.
That would be enough content for a whole nother game. They actually, they were...
Which is probably why they didn't do that.
At one point, they were talking about a New Vegas 2.
Oh, that was, well, they said, like, I think if Obsidian said if they ever got a chance to make another Fallout game, they will either do another one in the Mojave or they'll do one in LA, I believe.
LA would actually be interesting because that's technically NCR territory.
Yeah, that hasn't been... I think that hasn't made an appearance since Fallout 1. I think back then it was like the bone.
No, Fallout 2, the lowest... I know that...
Oh, do you get to go
that
to?
Vault 13 is down the bottom of the map.
Is it?
What?
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, Vault 13 is down the bottom of the map. I know this, and I just didn't say it on our Let's Plays.
For Fallout 2?
Fallout 2, it's towards the bottom of the map.
Oh,
and in Fallout 1, it's towards the top of the map.
Yeah, because the whole thing sort of shifted a bit. Like, so yeah, so your available list of available places to go sort of shifted up north. Yeah.
And even then, in Fallout 1, you couldn't technically consider it LA because it was just a bunch of randomly generated buildings.
I think that's, you can say that.
Except the one hub town down there.
Yeah. Although I do think they have a problem of, well, I mean, I don't, for anyone outside the US, I personally don't know enough about LA to actually recognize it, even if it's like recreated in 3D. I'll probably look at it and say, oh, is that supposed to be LA? Okay.
I know that someone wanted them to take the franchise to China.
That would be an interesting direction, but I think that would be a whole separate franchise.
That would be a whole separate franchise.
I've also heard people say they should try and set one in the UK, but again, that would be a whole separate franchise.
Actually, I did take a graphics class, and someone had made a game cover for Fallout London. I actually did something similar in that class. I did one for Fallout 4. That was fun.
I remember writing a basic outline to how I think a Fallout Britain would work. I call it Fallout Britannia, and it's like instead of the vaults, because bear in mind, like vaults are expensive to make.
They're
So
very.
instead of so like in my idea, instead of the vaults, what they will have is all the ships that all the ships of the Royal Navy, which are now like worthless because they don't have the fuel necessary to actually go anywhere. They convert them into floating sanctuaries. If you can imagine that.
That's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah, so they convert the like massive aircraft carriers into like floating islands for people to live, and it's like a cheap alternative to the vaults. And
That's what the Enclave did.
Yeah, effectively, yeah. So my idea would have been like at the start of the game, you start on one of these massive aircraft carriers like off the coast, and like you haven't gone back to the mainland for a long time, and then you get a mysterious signal. So then the whole ship starts sailing back, like up the Thames River, and you suddenly, like out of the fog, you suddenly see the destruction of what's left of London and so on. So, but
that would actually be a really cool build-up.
Bethesda, if you're listening,
this is actually a really good idea. Now that
send me the check. And yeah, and instead of super mutants, what you would have is like, you know how like the UK, especially in its olden days, is known for like the Industrial Revolution stuff. So instead of like power armor and that sort of stuff, you have like clockwork type, like massive, oversized robots, like clockwork type robots that. Like, almost like, you know, like the stereotypical palace guards with a massive hats and so on. So you have like a golem type thing that with a massive musket type cannon, which is actually a railgun, and like
it would be something like the size of Liberty Prime.
Maybe not that big, but certainly something that's like maybe bigger than a super mutant, and those things would be still patrolling the city, and every now and then, like people will try to. There will be small bands of survivors trying to take one down so they can rip it apart for spare bits and so on. Yeah. Anyways, again, very much off topic, but I'd love to see someone trying to make that into a game.
I would also really like to see ghouls with a British accent.
Nah. Well, you got one, haven't you? Like Desmond.
Desmond? Like the raspy ghoul voice, but with a British accent.
Yeah.
I can't do a good British.
Anyways, let's move on. I think it's your turn actually.
Yeah. Favorite episode.
Oof. God. Oh no, actually no, I know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, go on. You go first.
I'm putting in the thing. Technically, my favorite thing that I've done with Matt's Mind would have to be Matt's Mind the movie. Because of the build-up to that, like I was actually like sending out posters and everything. We had poster giveaways. Like I got one up here behind my computer, and another one over there.
Did you upload this online? I actually want to see this now.
One's up on. There is one up on our DeviantArt. I can probably find that for you. But I did that in my graphics class. It came out really, really good.
By the way, I'm assuming you're gonna put that picture that you sent me as the backdrop of this video. That picture is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's gonna be the backdrop of the video. I put that together in Gary's mod over the course of couple
That was
hours.
Gary's mod. Wow.
Yeah, that's Gary's mod. I have an insane amount of Fallout props. Insane, because I do the Tumblr, which is a Fallout Equestria Tumblr, and I need all of these freaking props. But my favorite thing to do with Matt's Mind was Matt's Mind the movie. I know it's technically not an episode. I will say what my favorite episode is in a bit. Because of the build up to that, like I brought in all these different voice actors to do voices for it and everything. The sheer number of lines that Mike got, the fact that it was actually pretty damn story driven, like it had a very emotional impact and everything. Like it actually had a fitting beginning and a fitting ending, which I really liked that, and I constantly said that, I constantly said that the Pit wasn't gonna be a DLC that we were gonna do. We're not gonna do the Pit, but then we ended up doing the Pit. This is also why I'm not sure about Honest Hearts, because in the end we ended up doing the Pit, and I constantly said we weren't doing the Pit. Honest Hearts might end up being another movie, but my favorite episode would have to be... Well, let me see if I can remember the number of it. I'm looking through my videos list right now. Came out right... Episode 38, The Velvet Curtain. The one where he went to the prison camp, blew up a submarine, nearly got gassed to death, and all that. That is probably my favorite episode, because that one had a lot of writing go into it. Like, okay, it's worth pointing out, script-wise, I don't have a full script. Most of the time I have an idea of what I'm going to talk about and try not to ramble. Like, there's certain things that I'll go into this. It's actually a later question, like, how do we work on episodes? Like
that's a good one, yeah.
Like, the process, that's an important question. But my favorite episode is 38 because of, all of the fun stuff that he did in that episode. He got to blow up the guy who tore open his head in, one of the previous episodes. That one was also recorded really, really well. Also, I love the way I released that one. It's worth pointing out that that was the same week I released, the Hunter reviews for Mystery Science Theater 3000, so no one was expecting another big video, and then on our weekly Friday live stream, I said, stay tuned after the stream because I got something special for you guys. And then we did our outro video. I came back and I'm like, I have the latest episode of Matt's Mind right here. It's not like a 10-minute snippet of it. No, this is the whole episode. So no one was expecting this. And then I played them the episode and I uploaded it the same night. And everyone was so happy about it. Like, and also, I just love seeing their reaction to the episode, like, as the episode was happening before their very eyes. Like, it really does, like, it's fun to watch. It's very fun to watch. This is also why, the, debut for Matt's Mind, the movie, was also very fun, because we did the same thing.
I think it's, something else I think is worth pointing out here, in case people who follow me but not necessarily follow you doesn't know. So you have more than one person working on your show. So
yeah,
this is something I've learned the last time we talked as well. So that you have a whole production team.
We have a team of writers, Fluttersky, Space Core, and Shy Guy.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, they help me write the episodes. I am, for all intents and purposes, doing the bulk of the work. But they help me with the writing process. We spitball ideas, but I have final say in everything that goes on. We work very well. Like I've gotten compliments that every episode has essence of... Every line has essence of me put into it, which shows that we do a pretty damn good job as a writing team. And we actually... we meet up at E3 every now and then, like, just to get together and meet up, which is always fun, because the three of them are all the way in the Yukon, and I'm here, just sitting here in the DC area. So that's also another reason why I really love Fallout, because it's very close to home. Like, I was actually looking for my old house, and I think I found the cul-de-sac, but my house was blown up.
Can I just make a very quick point? Because this is something I actually put on the Game Theory web subreddit. Okay, so you actually live in that area, right?
Yes, I do.
In real life, how far away is the Washington Monument from the White House?
From the White House?
Yeah.
You can see the Washington Monument from the White House.
Are we saying a mile? Maybe less?
What?
Maybe a mile?
No, not a mile. Maybe a kilometer? I don't know.
Okay. Right. Okay, in that case, answer me this. How is it that in Fallout 3, we know the White House was hit directly by a nuke?
But all the buildings around it are fine.
How is the Washington Monument still standing?
Well, you also have to take into account that everything is scaled down. And take the megaton bomb, for example. That didn't blow up the surrounding area. It specifically blew up megaton.
At the fireball? How can those guys look at the fireball without any eye protection and not get blinded? This is what I'm thinking. Like, you know, it was a Chinese-made nuke when it doesn't even do that. I can say that because I'm Chinese. Anyways, oh my god. But yes, anyway, you were saying. Just wanted to get that out there.
What was I saying?
You're saying about E3 and you and your production team?
I don't know. Oh yeah, me and my production team. By the way, I just looked it up. It's not the distance between the White House and the Washington Monument, but the distance between the Lincoln Memorial and the Capitol building is about 2 miles.
Really?
Yeah, that's about 2 miles.
Yeah, so that is very scaled down in the game. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. A lot of the buildings are actually not necessarily the same in the same location.
No. Fallout 3 is very scaled down, but I know they based it on the real DC map, which is which is interesting. I was actually looking for Bethesda Game Studios at one point when I was going through the Bethesda ruins. I didn't find it.
Wow.
Mainly because I don't know where they are. I think they are actually in Rockville.
That would be so meta. They just find the office that made the game.
Well, right now I used to live in Bethesda. Right now I'm borderline Bethesda in Silver Spring. I'm very close to Rockville though. They're around here somewhere.
Can I just say, like, just a little tidbit. So where I live is not. Like, very few people in the UK even know where it is that I live. But where I live is actually it's within driving distance, like 15-minute driving distance to an army base. So if the UK does get attacked, I'm fucked. Just, like, I would absolutely be within the blast zone.
I'm actually quite close to some very important buildings myself. The National Institutes of Health. The National Institutes of Health are quite close, and they have strands of the Ebola virus, the old one, the one that killed millions of people, not this new crap that killed 6 guys.
Do you have a basement?
I'm in the basement.
Okay, so at least you have that.
I'm also quite close to that is a military installation, which is actually a hospital, which had a very convenient McDonald's that they closed down after 9/11.
Right.
Well, they didn't close it down. They just stopped letting civilians in there.
So here's an answer to a question that nobody's asked. If we were attacked by nuclear war, we're both fucked.
I have a basement, so I might be fine. I don't know.
Well, a basement's not going to be much good if you're within the blast zone. And the fire zone.
Well, I don't know the exact blast radius of a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, that's the other issue.
Mainly, the only people setting off nuclear weapons right now are North Korea, and everybody... North Korea, dude.
They're the equivalent of China in the game. Anyways.
We laugh at them.
Anyways, so, what was the question?
What's your favorite episode?
Oh, okay. Are you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done. Episode 38.
So, just very quickly, my favorite episode, I have different answers depending on which season I'm thinking of. Like, usually my favorite episodes are ones where I try to do something slightly different to what I normally do. So when I try to venture into something else. Like, there was one episode where he, literally for like 5 seconds, he started singing. Like, I'm not a great singer by any means of the imagination,
well,
but I quite like the lyrics I came up with. So I think that was Oh, flip! I need to look up my own episodes. God.
Yeah, but you were talking about singing. Like Matt is, for no intents and purposes, a good singer. Like if he ever like starts singing, I'm probably going to make it intentionally bad. Like I don't want to set the world on fire. God, Matt, stop that singing.
It was an episode in season 4. It was the one where he got stung for the first time by a Cazador.
Oh God. The worst bug in any video game. Let me say it right now. Cazadors.
I am grateful for in Old World Blues. There are so many new stuff like perks and so on that specifically designed to counter that. I don't know if you noticed.
Cazadors are the worst bugs ever. Like I think they actually put it in on a list of top 10 worst bugs ever to exist ever.
I would absolutely
And
agree.
it was paired in with bugs that exist in real life.
To be fair though, can you imagine like having to deal with something like Cazadors in real life?
Oh my God.
I would cry. I would just not even want to deal with that at all. You guys can just sort it out yourselves. But yeah, so that was one of my other favorites. Also, I think it's worth saying, like, sometimes it's you know how in some videos like people quote the lines that they found really funny, and the other people's like, oh, stop quoting the lines, we all heard it. I can understand that, but I actually like it when people do that with my videos, because then I know which lines people found funny and which they didn't find funny. Because some of the lines that I found really funny, other people may not have. So I just wanted to put out there. But so other than that one, I still can't find which episode it was. It was an episode in season 4. And the other one, my current favorite one, was the first time he ever used the Stealth Boy, which was in season 5, episode 9, I believe it was. The first time he ever used the Stealth Boy to sneak into the Gunrunner's place to steal their equipment. Okay, so on reflection, like the way that episode turned out, like, so I tried to tone down my voice so that it sounds like he's sneaking, but I had to make it so that you can still hear what I'm saying, obviously. So it made me sound like I'm talking to a 5-year-old. I'm saying something like, so we are going to now sneak in here and we're going to take this stuff right from under their eyes. You know, it sounds like I'm talking to a little child, or I'm trying to sell something to someone. But I had so much fun doing that. I had so much fun doing that bit because, like, I get to use all these sort of puns about hiding. So things that I would never normally use. So something like, what did I say? Something like, it's like, darkness is my ally, I believe. Like, you know, from Dark Knight Rises and stuff like that. And I just loved that bit because I loved, like, it forced me to be more creative with my writing, which I always find is a great little exercise. You know, whether or not people actually found that funny, I'm not 100% sure, but it's always, I always enjoy those sort of things. So yeah, that's basically my answer.
If we're going by season, my favorite episode from season 1 would probably be a tie between episode 25 and the season finale.
I have no idea which one's that.
Well, episode 25 was where he had that whole change of heart, where he discovered the purifier and everything. And episode 30, I didn't love episode 30 because I was like, I'm done now. Like a few months later, I started season 2. But I love all of the stuff that went into the season finale.
Yeah, I think whenever, as a general rule, whenever there's a lot of fighting, things tend to get very frantic, and it's quite fun. As far as recording voices go, those episodes are quite fun.
No, those are fun.
Yeah, I think it's just within human nature to be able to shout and not get reprimanded for it.
I also really liked the episode where he throws up.
Oh.
Like, he just sees a bag of guts, and
that's a good point, because I just did in season 6, there was an episode where he was drunk, and I actually had a can of cider ready in case I had to actually get tipsy for it. I didn't really do that in the end. Like, but that was it didn't necessarily turn out as well as I hoped, but it was fun to do. That's the key point here. I rate my favorite episodes based on how much fun I had making them.
I think that's how a lot of people do it.
Yeah. Anyways, I noticed we're getting close to 2 hours. We should probably get a move on. Okay, my next one is how far ahead did I... Wait a minute. Oh, okay, we are actually converging on the where we left off from the first attempt.
Yay!
Oh, God. All right, now the memories are coming back. Okay. How far ahead did I plan each season? Basically, I always plan in 10 episodes, a chunk. And what I would do is I would scout out ahead and basically try to rationalize one particular quest line as a potential season, or perhaps one particular location as a season. So, for instance, everything in Freeside, I knew there was enough content in Freeside for me to do, if not a whole season, at least the majority of a season. Like sometimes I don't always get it right. So there will be times when, let's say, the Helios 1 area, for instance, I thought Helios 1 would take more than 3 episodes to do, but in the end, it didn't quite work out. So I thought, okay, well, we've got to camp full on Hope and Nelson stuff, but that was still not enough content. And originally, I didn't plan to go actually into Boulder City, and especially didn't plan on actually meeting Veronica. And all of that got squeezed into the 4th season. And so at the end of that, I left it on a cliffhanger where like a grenade blows up in his face, and that was it. Again, that was not originally planned. That was something I've realized I didn't have enough stuff left to actually make a final episode, but that particular moment presented itself as an opportunity, and I figured, I need an excuse for him to be in McCarran anyway, and I know I'm gonna be taking a long break between seasons 4 and 5, so I did the typical developer bullshit of leaving a cliffhanger there so that you'd be guaranteed to come back in a few months' time to actually watch the next season. But yeah, so I try to plan things out ahead of time, which is actually what I'm going to be doing with season 7 soon. It doesn't always work. A lot of the times I will have to try and reschedule a few things as I'm going through the game and as I'm doing things like that. As far as additional seasons go, I tried not to get too ahead in terms of, okay, so what's going to be season 8, what's going to be season 9, because without knowing how season 7 is going to turn out and how far that's going to go, it's not very helpful trying to think even further than that. Like, I have vague ideas of what I want to cover in those seasons. Like, I want there to be some kind of theme. So, for instance, kind of like what Hunter just said, like he has a Vault arc. Like I also kind of have the idea of having a Vault-focused season, perhaps combine that with the Brotherhood of Steel-focused season, because obviously like those two quest lines kind of converge in a way. But again, how well that will work in practice, I don't know. I just have that as one of the things I want to get through. So yeah, that's basically how I plan each season. I mean, I don't know how. Do you plan the actual season extended?
Okay.
Or is it just episodes?
This is interesting. Season 1, nothing was planned. Nothing at all was planned. Like I said, I'm constantly surprised that we managed to wrap it up in 30 episodes, and only 30 episodes. Because I expected that to go, like, right now, I'd expect us to still be on Season 1. But then I went and read the Fallout Equestria fanfic, which blew me away, and that just provided the inspiration for me to get the story rolling. So we ended up wrapping it up in 30 episodes. But no, other than that, Season 1 was not planned ahead of time. Season 2, however, that was when I finally got the writing team in on it. We were all like, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then we're gonna end the season, and then we're gonna wait like 50 years for the next season. Okay, not 50 years, but you get the idea. But we did have a very general idea of what we wanted to do with
can I just say
season
I
2.
love to hear a 50, well, you'd be like more than 50 years, years old in 50 years, like a 70-year-old man try to play the voice of a 19-year-old.
I'm already a 20-year-old trying to do well, technically in our canon he's 18, but
well, you could get away
he's
with that.
He's pushing 19. It's been 2 months total in game. We actually do have a gradual passage of time. Like occasionally we cheat a little bit. It'll like at the beginning of an episode it'll be like 2 weeks later or this many days later, but we do actually keep track of the in-game time as well.
Okay.
So
do you actually scale time to be more like real life?
No, we do not. It's still the 24-minute timer. In fact, in one episode, he was he walked into the museum. It was nighttime. He walked out of the museum. He's like, "Okay, it is daytime again. I am convinced the Earth's rotational axis is off. I don't know if the nukes did it or how they did it, but somehow something is very wrong."
You see, I try to be more realistic. I actually installed a mod that lets me adjust the time scale so that it's 1-to-1. And I did that, but then what I failed to realize is that suddenly we somehow managed to get through 3 seasons and it's still day 1. Oh. Yeah, like someone pointed this out. I was like, yeah, about that. Like I just say, the Courier is very tough. So within the same day of getting up from having been shot twice in the head, he's managed to liberate.
Wait,
No, he's managed to. Yeah, didn't you? I thought he was shot twice in the head.
He was shot once in the head.
Yeah, and then they shot him again. When he was down. There are several lines.
I don't know.
In the game.
I don't know. The intro is kind of vague about it.
No. In the intro they don't say it, but in the game there are several lines spoken by other people that implies he was shot twice. Like,
damn, I need to pay attention more.
I didn't realize this for a long time, but apparently that's the case. So in the in the 188 trading outpost, there's a little kid that predicts, like, read futures and stuff. Do you know roughly? Like he's one of many NPCs that does this. So he says like he looks at you and say, oh, 2 shots in the head and yet you're still standing and so on and so on and all that. Anyways, back to the point is like this guy has been shot twice in the head and he's just recovered from a week-long coma, and within the first day he's managed to retake the prison for the NCR. He's managed to go all the way to the Mojave Outpost, all the way to Nipton, sort out Prim, then all the way to Nipton, then all the way to Novak before spending a night in bed. This guy is a fucking trooper. Yeah, I messed that up slightly. I've been trying to like have a bit more time skip now, but he is the Courier.
Yeah, it is an important thing because people are confused about the passage of time in Matt's mind.
Yeah.
But as you stated,
and they had that problem in Freeman's mind.
But
they had the same problem.
But as you back to the question, as you stated, I do have these little arcs that we have. Like, we have a few that are planned for the future. We got a few left in Season 2, then we're going to be finishing up the season. Right now we're in the middle of the Vault arc, and this is actually going to end with Matt having an unfathomable hatred towards Vault Tech for screwing over humanity.
Oh, man.
That's gonna be fun. After this, we're probably gonna have the vampire arc.
Arfu, okay.
That one's gonna be fun. After that, there's not a lot planned for the rest of Season 2, but I don't know when we're gonna get to it, but Tenpenny Tower. We need to do something with Tenpenny Tower. And I don't know what.
I'm curious of what choice you're gonna make in that one. Because there's no right or wrong answer with that one.
I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet.
That actually, I know we were dragging this on for quite a while, but I would like to insert a question that I definitely heard several times, but I figured why not just put it in here. Which bit of the game are you most looking forward to doing episodes for?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Um.
Well, I'll answer as well, but yeah.
Well, what I was looking forward to, or what I'm looking forward to now.
Let's just say now.
Okay. Well, right now, I'm really looking forward to the bit where he punches a wall and hurts his hand really badly. Cause that's gonna be happening at the end of the Vault arc. In terms of what I'm really looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to the finale of the season, where we get to completely blow up the NCR for good.
NCR? Wait, what?
Enclave. I get the factions.
Okay.
Mixed up.
Yeah.
There's the NCR, there's the Enclave, there's the Brotherhood of Steel, there's the freaking Legion.
See, that's weird, because depending on what, like, that could have made sense, because at the end of Lonesome Road, you can send nukes to the NCR.
Yeah, you can.
So I was thinking, wow, you gotta do that?
No, we're finally blowing up the Enclave for good, and there's actually, at the end of that, it's gonna be like a bit where he at the beginning he thinks he's nuking himself, when he sicks the orbital strike on the giant crawler platform that I swear that's the thing they use to carry the space shuttle. I swear.
Probably.
Well, it looks exactly like it. Like, the first time I played through the game, I'm like, is that the crawler? That's the fucking crawler transport from the Kennedy Space Center. Why is it here?
That big? Is it really that big in real life?
It's that big in real life, because they originally used them to carry the Saturn V rockets that sent people to the moon. I don't know what they used it for in... I know that in the canceled Fallout Van Buren... they had a shuttle plan.
Had orbital. Yeah, they had like orbital.
They had a shuttle plan that would take people to Mars, but the Enclave seized control of it, for something. I forget what they were doing with it. But
Van Buren would have been a very weird game if it did come.
I'm actually working on a Fallout Equestria fanfic that is heavily based on Van Buren.
Well, to be fair, most of New Vegas was also based on Van Buren. Because a lot of it was based on it.
Yeah, but then again, Van Buren ended in space. True. Which is why I was actually pretty angry that Van Buren was cancelled, because I want to go to space again in a game that is not Fallout 3.
Oh, boy. They really went wild with that.
But yeah, I am looking forward to that, because he thinks he's gonna nuke himself, and then he's like, Mike, I have made up my mind about this. I am prepared to sacrifice myself to get rid of these assholes for good, so my dad's legacy can live on. So he walks out to the balcony to look out at the view for one last time as he blows up. Freaking vertibird, and he's like, "Oh, come on! Again with this? Really? I can't die, can I? The universe just doesn't want me to die. It wants me to suffer."
I want to just, like, recommend one line that he should absolutely say. Like, he should just look up and just say, "Come at me, bros!" Anyways.
No, I am looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. Very fun. It's also going to be interesting how I'm going to do the interior for the vertibird, because I can't use the teleporter excuse.
Oh, well, every time you get in...
that's my excuse for going through doors right now. He teleports through the door, and it's a system that's put in the Pip-Boy. It's actually pretty freaking useless. That's also how the fast travel works.
I didn't even bother with trying to explain the doors. Before I forget, actually, I've been meaning to say this before. Like, one question that kept popping up for me very quickly, is how is it that I can open locked doors without actually lockpicking them? So what I do is, so sometimes in one of the episodes, for instance, there's a wooden locked door that he couldn't get through because he doesn't have the right keys or lockpicking skill yet. So what I just ended up doing instead is pulling out my shotgun and shot the lock, and then mysteriously the door opens. That's not a mod, okay? As far as I'm aware, there isn't a shoot out the lock mod. I know there's a using explosives to open locked doors mod, but I haven't used that either. What I literally do, this is a very low-tech way of doing it, pull out my shotgun, shoot the lock, put it away, then access the console commands, and then unlock the door with the console commands, and then edit that bit out, and there you go. Suddenly, the door opens. I've shot the lock. But yeah, sorry. I just wanted to put that out there. It's not a mod. Don't go looking for it. So.
I noticed you go very far with the mods and everything.
I try to use mods that make it feel more realistic. So for instance, like Project Nevada I use, but purely for the grenade hotkey and the sprint, pretty much. I disable everything else in that because it's taking it a bit too far. And then some graphic stuff and the weather stuff because I can't stand that yellow tint, the orange tint in Fallout.
There was actually an ultra realistic mod which actually went for it's in Fallout Fallout New Vegas, but it goes for the ultra realism. Like if you get shot, it's gonna take away like half your health.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a Wondrous Edition.
Wanderer's Edition, yes.
Yeah, it was a part of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't bother with that.
Yeah, my friend constantly says if I did Matt's Mind with that mod, he would be infinitely more... But actually, I have a question. Where do we draw the line with mods?
Okay, my personal feeling towards mods is that if it presents a visual upgrade or a visual sort of immersiveness. So for example, with the sprint one, I don't see why I can't have that because in real life, you would not casually just like jog away from danger. You would sprint from danger, right? So that to me is fair enough. I don't like weapon mods so much, like, the adding completely new made-up weapons because I figured that's not necessarily part of the lore. That's just something that the fans decide to put in there. So that I don't do. I don't do quest mods. Actually, there is a question later on about where my stance are on quest mods. But as a general rule, I don't bother with those either because, again, that's not part of the lore. And also, I have enough quests to get through without resorting to quest mods as well. And just, like, gameplay balances, I don't bother so much because, again, you can't really see that in action, if that makes any sense.
All right.
So, yeah. So I'm kind of like Ross in the sense that, how in Freeman's mind, he sometimes uses the console for him to do like a pull-ups to bypass certain areas because there's no reason why he would go through there if he can't just. I'm kind of in that sense without actually physically doing like pull-ups. Oh, having said that though, in the last episode of season 6, I did end up doing something where okay, I'll quickly describe to you the situation. In the Silver Rush, you have all these guards everywhere, and there's a locked door. Like, if you wanted to get evidence to expose them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I vaguely remember this quest.
Yeah, so I tried to go with that direction. And so I had the stealth boy up. But the problem was, there was literally a guard staring at the door that I was going to try and open. Now, okay, in the game, if you did that, because you're hidden, they don't register that the door just opened. They'll still just stare there. But I was like, when I was doing that episode, I was thinking, oh god, how am I going to explain this? Like, I know they're stupid, but can I really get them to be that stupid? But then what I realized was that there's a like a counter, like a service counter, kind of like in the casinos, where there is a little gap there. So I figured, right, how feasible is it for me to pull a Ross, effectively, and pull a Freeman, and actually have him look like he's climbing and squeezing himself through the gap, and that took quite a few takes, as you might imagine, because Fallout 3 and New Vegas, as much as we love them, they're not the most stable games, are they? You do clip through things very easily, and you do end up, like, I haven't actually followed through the world yet, although I have seen people falling through the world. And so yeah, that took a few takes. I actually have him squeezing through that area using no clip.
I actually have had I've had amazing luck with Fallout 3 and bugs, actually.
Really, you haven't come across any yet.
None that would be considered awful. Like there was there was this one bit where we were shooting the movie. It was the bit where you just got to the pit and you were coming off of the handcart. We shot a person with the sniper rifle, and they just started wigging out, like flying all over the place. Like at first I was like, okay, ignore it, but then it started getting up in my face. I'm like, okay, no, we need to reshoot this.